Yeah.
What about my voice, guys?
What about my voice?
Yes. So the most
Just try out
important.
my voice.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I think it's fine. I got a comment saying everything is all right.
Okay, good.
Viewers can hear all three of us. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I guess due to technical issues, this is the official start of the stream. And like they say, uh, with the first things, you should always have some time for things like this to happen.
Yeah.
So we're terribly sorry for the inconvenience, sir, but we are also learning. It's the first initiative that we've taken. So, uh, so viewers, now that everybody is audible, uh, I guess that I'm Aman Khanna, and my co-host is Praveen Kumar PK, and with
PK.
us we have a very honorable guest, Dr. Bimal Roy, and he was telling us about the great professor, uh, Mr.
C.R.
C.R.
Rao.
Rao. So yes, sir. Sorry for the disturbance.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
let me just
Yeah.
start once again.
Yeah. Yeah.
About
Sure.
C.R. Rao.
Yeah.
He became a statistician by chance. In 1940, he came from Andhra to Kolkata for a job interview. Okay, and he didn't get the job.
Okay.
So he felt very frustrated, and then he was advised that he had a mathematics degree from Andhra University. He should learn something beyond mathematics to get a good job. So maybe doing some statistics, that's a new subject that time, will help you in getting a job.
Yes.
And that time ISI was very new. 1931 ISI started, and PC Mahalanish was the all in all. So he was advised to meet PC Mahalanish. He met him and he told him that he should join a 1 year certificate course to start with,
Yeah.
and then maybe you can join a master's program. So he actually wasted 1 year doing a certificate course 40 to 41, and thereafter he was admitted to the master's program. That time it was called MA,
Okay.
and he got his master's degree in 1943.
Wow.
And then he became a researcher.
Yes.
And once he started researcher, nobody could stop him. So he just went on producing results after results, and many of his results are in the textbook. So if anybody studies statistics at bachelor's and master's level, they have to study Rao's results. Many theorems, but I will talk about. I mentioned four very worthwhile ones, which are the most popular ones: the Kramer-Rao inequality, Rao-Blackwell theorem, Rao's code test, and orthogonal arrays. And
Yeah.
the first three, why they are very important, because in statistics, normally we do three kinds of work. First part is estimation. So we have to understand the scenario, situation. That's what is called estimation. And then we do test of hypothesis. Basically, people do have certain beliefs, and we have to actually generate data to either validate or reject our belief. So nothing wrong with having a belief, but we have a procedure of accepting or rejection. We call it test of hypothesis. The third part is prediction or forecasting. We want to talk about future, what may happen if similar thing continues. So Rao's main contribution was in the first part, the estimation part. And people didn't know exactly what are the criteria for having an estimate is a good estimate. See, people may give different kind of estimates. So now, what is a good estimate? Now, this notion of goodness was very important, and he basically worked on that one. So Kramer inequality talks about a lower bound, a condition. If you satisfy, you are the best one.
Yes.
So this is a very theoretical abstract result, but it doesn't tell you how to get to that estimate. Second is the Rao-Blackwell theorem. It talks about starting from any estimate, how can you modify it step by step and reach to a state, a modified estimate, which is the best. First one is the existential or sufficient condition. Second one is constructive. Okay, and the third one is suppose you don't get to the best estimate. It may not be the always case I can get best estimate. Then how good that estimate is. That's why it's Rao's code test. So that will tell you how good you are. Often you have to live with not the best one. Okay, I always make the joke that when you look for a girlfriend, you might like to assure your girlfriend. Right? No, we are actually maybe Alia Bhatt. Okay. Obviously, it was Rekha. But that's not possible. So we try to get the best possible within our domain, our capability. Or same thing with the girls also.
Yes.
Probably they would, in our time, they would like to Amitabh Bachchan as a boyfriend. But if you can get it, what best you can get it. That is the whole idea. So these three steps: what is sufficient condition for getting best, how to go to the best, and if not best, how to get to a good one. So these three results are phenomenal by C.R. Rao, and he has many other results. I will go. I can go on and on, but I think he's most famous for these results, and
Yes.
he is actually having his 100th birthday tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll tell a joke about him.
Yes.
When I became ISA director, he started calling me Bimal Babu. In Bengali, Babu means a respectable person.
Yes.
And I told him, sir, always you have called me Bimal. Why do you call me Bimal Babu now? He said, no, now you are the director, respectable persons. I cannot call you by name. I have to call you Bimal Babu. And he was in Bengal for so long, 40, 76, 36 years. I know the Bengali culture, called Bimal Babu. I told, okay then, sir, I'm no more going to call you sir. I'll call you Rao Gadu. So in Telugu, they say Gadu is
Yeah.
exactly equal to our Babu. So now I always call him Rao Gadu and he calls me Bimal Babu. So this is now let's move on.
Yeah, that's fantastic, sir. It was really nice how you constructed step by step and explained, and it was really fantastic to hear all this from you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so we have outlined the entire podcast focusing on your journey of life. So in this journey, so let's start from your childhood. As a child, each one of us will have our set of goals and dreams. So, did you dream about taking statistics as your subject, as your career?
So as a child, I didn't even know about the subject. So I think at the very end of my high school, see in our time we used to go to high school up to 11th grade. We didn't have 12.
Yeah.
So it was straight 11th grade, then we used to go to college. I think after 1 year, the system changed and you were tortured by one more year. So we actually studied 1 year less and came to college directly. I think at class 11, um, when we were doing our math classes, our math teacher told, there is and also I think in 1972, when I was in class 10, there was a news on the newspaper
Okay.
that the legendary PC Mohanlanabish is no more.
Oh.
So our teacher told that I was in class 10 that PC Mohanlanabish, one of the we call in India the time of Renaissance,
Yes.
when under the British rule, a group of scientists picked up their challenge and tried to take India to an international level in scientific development. I'll consider the father of this movement is J.C. Bose. I must have heard he's a biologist and physicist.
Yes.
And then I will mention C.V. Raman, who also used to work in Calcutta only. Then Meghnad Shaha, Satyen Bose, now the boson, this God particle, that was actually the theory of S.N. Bose, and the particle is called boson, and P.C. Mohanlanabish. So these five were the axis of our scientific development. And they mentioned that one of the axes is born, P.C. Then I came to know that there is someone called P.C. Mohanlanabish, he's a great statistician, great scientist, and what he worked on basically on statistics. And the institute is in Calcutta itself. And then asked my teacher, who studied in the institute? Then he said, you have to be the top of the world in mathematics.
Yes.
And then I thought maybe I'll try that.
Yes.
So, in an ISI admission test, you need only mathematics. Now, in any other, engineering, medical, you will have to give test on physics, chemistry, maybe in biology. But for ISI, it's only a math test.
Maths.
Hmm.
This is probably easier. I can only prepare for math and I can appear for this ISI exam. So I
Yes.
came to know in class 10, not before that. Also, PC Mohanlanabish actually expired that time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed that news on the newspaper and I wouldn't have known.
Okay. Very good, sir. So we also know as a child, or maybe even now, you really enjoy football. So
Yes.
we want to know, how did your love for football start?
Uh, no, things are different in our childhood. Um, you know, cricket was also popular.
Mm.
It is a little bit expensive. I came up with a very low middle class family. So
Yes,
football just needed a rubber ball. That's it.
yes,
Mm.
And so that was very popular. In fact, even I used to like kabaddi because did nothing.
yes,
So I used to play in my childhood kabaddi. There's another game. I don't know if you know it, kho.
yes. We know
Yeah.
about
Um,
Coco.
yeah, so kabaddi, kho, you need not nothing, and football you need just a ball.
Yes,
Okay, so and cricket you need wickets, you need bats. Even if you play in a canvas ball, you need
Yeah.
yes,
wickets and bats, and you need actually reasonable amount of space. Football you could play on anywhere, three
yes,
side, two side, five a side. So it was more convenient to play football, and so started playing more football. Cricket I used to play occasionally, but you
yes,
have to go to a little larger playground. You have all the equipments. That was not so convenient.
yes,
That's why I started playing football, and I started loving it. And in fact, I think many people know that I was finishing my high school
yes.
at a 50-50 chance of becoming a professional footballer and a statistician.
Oh, nice.
But I took the path of statistician. But I could have as well been a professional footballer.
Good.
And well, it just didn't happen. But I do keep in touch with football very regularly.
Yes,
I do keep
Oh,
in touch with cricket also. But I think there's the last question. I talk about my cricket interest.
yes.
Um, so this is different, but that's how I grew up.
So do
yeah.
you like, which football club do you really enjoy watching?
Well, no, I am I'm a fan of Mohun Bagan, and Bengalis are divided into two groups, Mohun Bagan and East Bengal.
Yes,
So it so happened, it's accident. It's nothing, no other reason. I used to love football, so my father used to take me to watch the football game.
yes,
And the first ever game I have seen, that time I was probably 7 years old. Um, I went to the Calcutta Maidan to
yes.
watch, and that game was Mohun Bagan's game. And I saw the game of the legendary football player Chuni Goswami.
Wow.
So he was considered. See, that time we were number one in Asia, and Chuni Goswami was the captain. And
Yes,
we qualified also World Cup once, but we didn't have money to go there. So Chuni
yes,
Goswami was the start there,
Yeah.
the start. And the first match I saw is Mohan Bagan's with Chuni Goswami playing the striker and the captain.
yes,
And it was mesmerizing. I became a fan of Chuni Goswami, and then naturally of Mohan Bagan because he didn't change the club at all.
yes.
Chuni Goswami all around played for only Mohan Bagan.
Yeah.
That's why I became Mohan Bagan supporter. But right now, I'm member of both the clubs, Mohan Bagan and East Bengal. I watch both the games. Only in the East Bengal Mohan Bagan match, I become Mohan Bagan supporter. Otherwise, I go and enjoy the games of both the clubs.
Good to hear, sir. Good to see your love for football. It's not common these days. Uh, so, uh, you said about cricket as well. So, do you enjoy Ranji? Why do you enjoy Ranji and not IPL?
Yeah. I'll tell you why. So, I normally like people putting all their efforts and passion into that game.
Yes,
Now, Ranji gives you no money at all.
yes,
Okay, so when you're playing Ranji Trophy, you're not playing for money. You are trying to improve and show that you can do something so that you can get into the Indian team in an IPL team.
yes,
So that effort and the energy and the passion I see in the Ranji players, especially the younger players, not the established players.
yes,
Established players play very, very badly. They don't put all their attention. But the younger players, I love watching that.
Yeah.
I remember I still watch some Ranji games. I remember maybe 27, 15 years back, 15 years back,
yes.
I went to Eden Gardens to watch a Ranji Trophy match between Mumbai and Bengal.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
Bengal had two very youngster batsmen, Manoj Tiwari and Abhishek Jhunjhunwala.
Yeah.
Yes,
And the way they're very young, 19, 20 years old, they're trying to establish themselves. And the way they were trying to play against the stars in Mumbai, I could see the body language. It's
yes,
so entertaining to see them. Finally, Manoj Tiwari came to the India team. Well,
yes,
Abhishek couldn't make it, but the spirit that I see in them, I don't see that in IPL. IPL is more of
yes,
professional. This is more of entertainment to me. It's more of entertainment than sports. Ranji Trophy, I still feel it's is real sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the young mind I like to see. And I've seen Ranji Trophy, Sachin Tendulkar playing. He doesn't put all the effort and you know, everything on a Ranji game. They sometimes don't play.
Yes.
Mumbai team coming and Sachin will not play. That Bimal coming, Saurabh Ganguly is not playing. That will be very
Okay.
important.
Yes.
Even if
Yeah.
they play, half-heartedly. But the youngsters, they put their life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just the way they field, the way they throw their body to catch a ball, it's
Yes.
just something unprofessional, just to get recognized.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that zeal was very important to me.
Yeah.
So you like the
In
passion.
football, ISL I don't watch. We have a new ISL league,
Yes.
Indian
Yes.
Soccer League,
Yes.
Amani,
Yes.
Yes.
and I don't watch much. I've seen watch a I League game between Kashmir FC and Mohun Bagan. I prefer that than watching a professional Goa FC and Bangalore FC, a professional two teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to watch a Punjab FC and Kashmir. I used to watch a Kashmir football team very very closely for last 2 years, and they've
Yes.
improved really. People don't take a notice that the Kashmiri lads are playing good football. Last couple of years, they're coming to rank 2 or rank 3 at our I League. And the way they play, this is very, very entertaining. But again, I don't really watch ISL as a professional league. Well, I'm not against money,
Yes.
but when you play for money, the attitude and a Kashmiri boy trying to prove himself,
Yes.
there's a bit different in that.
Yeah.
Yes. So good to hear that you like the talent more than showmanship.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's the main reason. You
Yes.
got the point.
Yes, sir.
You're
That's
actually supporting a platform which is trying to uplift the people.
Yes, yes, yes.
yes. So good to hear that, sir. So, as a childhood, were you one of the mischievous students, or were you one of those students who were always the toppers, sir?
No, no, I don't think as a child I was a topper. I
Yes.
think I gradually improved
Yes.
from class 8 onward.
Yes.
8 onward, I improved. I think improvement was very gradual. So probably in class 11, I was not never top in the school. I think 11, I was number 2 in the school.
Okay.
Um, I think that it's very gradual.
Yes.
As and I always tell when my son grew up, I told this is like a long distance run. Don't put your energy in the first lap.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have
Yes.
to conserve your energy for the last lap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so and in fact, when my son was grown up, me and my wife never put any pressure on him when he was child. I told,
Yes.
even he was not. He was very ordinary in marks wise till I think class 6 or 7. Okay,
Yes.
and then I think he also started taking interest. The last laps are very important in a long distance, long run.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
want to put all my effort at the very early stage.
So good to hear that life is a marathon, not a sprint. Yes, sir. Uh,
Yeah.
so when you grew up and then you went to ISI Kolkata, how was your time in college? Were you like us, bunking classes or were you very studious and career oriented?
No, no, so I never bunk classes.
Yes.
That's for sure. Now, one reason is because I didn't want to study too much.
Yes.
I was not studious,
Yes.
but I found out that if I attend the classes carefully, I can afford not to study too much beyond the class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I say most teachers are fantastic.
Yeah.
If I attend that 50 minutes class, that saves my 2 hours later on.
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
was time management for me. So I don't have to study too much in the
Yes.
hostel. In
Yes.
the hostel, I could go on watching movies or music or go to watch a football match in the Maidan.
Yeah.
But I know that attending classes is very important for me to
Yeah.
save this time.
Yes.
So I never bunk unless I'm very sick.
Yes.
I never bunk any of my classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So since you said ISI has fantastic teachers, so can you tell who is your favorite teacher, professor at ISI during your
There's
student?
many, but I think the first one to name is I think I tell you this story also. Maybe I tell at the end. The last
Okay.
question, Professor J. Roy. Okay, he
Okay.
had a very very different style of teaching,
Okay.
and I think I unknowingly I adopted his teaching style.
okay.
So he would write very little on the board, will speak more.
Yeah.
And he said that my objective is not to reproduce what is there in the book. My objective is actually to make you enthusiast and be capable to read a book by yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
in the class, we basically do stories to explain what is the idea, and then if you have any doubt, we clear it. The class is more of interaction than writing on the board theorem proofs and theorems like
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So even if I don't, did you attend any of my lecture? So I normally don't use slides.
Yes.
I normally don't hardly write anything on the board,
Yes.
but still I try to convey what I want to convey.
Okay.
Yes.
So the point is to make the students independent so that they can go using the stories, construct
Yes,
the entire knowledge themselves. Right.
yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, you were also the director at ISI Kolkata. How did it
Hmm.
feel to be a student and then become a director there? You know.
Yeah, that was a little weird because when I became director, I still have some of my teachers as my colleague. So so I became director at an early age, um, and I think I was only 50, and we retired at 65. So I had people at the age of 60, 61, between 60, 65 group. All of them are my teachers. So it was a little difficult to start with. So I tried to adopt one policy, which I don't know, I think should have been helpful. That I never took any decision by myself as such. I used to empower other people. You know, say I would empower the different head of the departments. So I tell them, you talk to your colleagues and come with a recommendation. And I don't think I've ever actually refused any of the recommendations they make.
Okay.
So even I'll tell you something like that. I get a research budget from the government. Okay, say I get some 10 crore. I think I used to get some 10, 15 crore that time.
Yes.
Then my job is to allocate to different departments and research groups. Say, for example, I am in the applied statistics you know, department.
Yes.
So I decide that out of these 10 crores, 1 crore will go to applied stat.
Yes.
After that, I don't really get into this matter at all.
Yes.
So let them decide what to do. And anyway, there's an audit. They have to face the audit.
Yes.
So whether I support or not, so as long as they can meet the audit and spend with following government norms,
Hmm.
let them do whatever they like.
Yes.
So I did not even try to keep a check and balance on that. I have to put trust on these people.
Yes.
So that was my mode of functioning. And I remember there was a faculty member in ISI Delhi, outstanding
Yes.
faculty member, Bharat Ramaswamy. Um, so he told that uh, Vimalda first felt us that we felt empowered.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a faculty, we all felt very empowered,
Yes.
and that makes also them more responsible.
Yes.
So you cannot just shout against me. You have to come to a decision. So if I
Yes.
if I go to a meeting, I say no, there is no point. You come to a consensus. You just come to an agreement. You should be able to do it without my involvement.
Yes.
The best you can do. So I don't think I've got involved in many decision making in my 5 years.
Yes.
Mostly the others made the decision, and I just endorsed it.
Okay.
So I just took that approach, and I didn't spend too much time as a director either. I used to teach in the class. I had PhD students. So once you do that, empower the other people. I don't have much work.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I used to spend more time with the students. In fact, my director always used to sit at most 2 hours a day.
Yes.
I'll be in my usual applied stage office.
Oh.
I'll take classes for the students. I couldn't afford to miss that. That was my profession.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's
Sir, actually, let's talk about your PhD days. So, how did you choose your PhD school?
Okay, so I had two options.
Okay.
Okay. So I applied to two places. One option is since I studied statistics, um, I could go for statistics. So I applied to the top school, Berkeley,
yes.
and I got admitted there also.
Okay.
But then instead, I also studied something on this combinatorics
Yes.
and the OR techniques, etc. And then I found one of our ex-ISI person, R.C. Bose.
Yes.
He was in ISI. I studied the BCH code, which is fundamentally in the communication theory. Everybody would know BCH code. And then I wrote a letter to R.C. Bose. That time still he was old, but he was alive. I wrote a letter that is there a possibility that I can come and work with you? He was in US. And then he wrote me a letter back. That time there's no email, so the letter goes for 3 weeks. I get a letter back from him after 3 weeks. He says that I have become considered old. I don't think I'm in a position to accept new students to mentor or guide. I'm a retired person. But if you're interested in this subject,
Yes.
there's a university in Canada, University of Waterloo. They're the top in this subject. So you can apply there. So I applied there. And I got admission from there also. So I had a dilemma to go to Waterloo or to Berkeley. Well, Berkeley is more prestigious school. Waterloo is something where probably I already developed some passion.
Yes.
And then I talked to one of our professors. At that time, he was the ISI dean. He was from Berkeley. He did his PhD in Berkeley, Ashok Moitra. And he said, Bimal, you go for your passion. Okay, I had no more doubt. I just went to Waterloo.
Passion. That's the perfect way to go, sir. Always choose passion. So,
Yeah. Also, okay, so sir, there are many students watching the podcast. So,
Mhm.
what is your strategy to understanding complex concepts?
Okay, so this is the toughest part in any researcher's life or any teacher's life or student life. So I think I try to relate this to some physical phenomena. And
yes.
if you see that, I try to understand or explain through some stories.
Yes.
Um, so certain things of mm, um, so I'll tell you this understanding of maybe I can tell you this problem. I think maybe I told you already. Let me repeat
Yes.
again. Some 10 years back, uh, Railway Recruitment Board came to me and they said that they suspect that there have been mass copying.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, mm, how to identify mass copying?
Yes.
Is objective test. Uh, so I started thinking about it. Now there are lots of statistical theories, but then the only thing I try to figure out there, that is the main thing to find out here, is that if say Aman copies from Praveen, and if the answers are right,
Yes.
nobody on earth can catch it unless there is a CCTV camera.
Yes.
Both right answer. But if they answer wrong, okay, and now there are three options of being wrong. Objective A, B, C, four options. So you can be wrong in three different ways. Now, if you put the same wrong option, for one, it may be by accident, but it happens for a few times, some 5, 10 questions.
Yes.
Then I can possibly make an assess a comment that these two have copied. So when I teach test of hypothesis,
Yeah.
I first tell them
Yes.
this story. So
Yes.
what is the stake there? I'm trying to say whether these two copied or not. This is my maybe belief. As a railway board belief, there's a mass copy. So start with the belief, okay, and then try to understand how to validate this belief. So I try to formulate this one, and then I get into theory of this test of hypothesis, type 1 error, type 2 error.
Error.
What is meant by in this context? What is meant
Yes.
by the type 1 error in this context? Reject when it is true.
Yes.
That means even if they did not copy, I tell them they have copied.
Yes.
What is the other error? They have copied, but I'm telling they didn't copy.
Copy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how are these two errors to be computed? How are these two important? So this is the whole theory of statistical test of hypothesis.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before I get into it, I give them this example.
Yes.
Okay, and students can immediately understand what I'm talking about, and then they can probably go to the book and read even these theories of how to what is the formula for type 1 error, type 2 error, so on and so forth. But I explain them with this story. So when I'm teaching test of hypothesis, relate to some event where the students can actually relate to, they can identify themselves.
Yes.
So every topic I try to find something like this, but the students can relate to them, so the concepts can be explained that way.
Yes.
And from there, students can go by themselves. I don't need much help. I don't need to help much more from that point of time.
Yes.
Okay, now often I would come up with my class and I will say, okay, now for this test, you just work out what is the power formula. The student will go to the board and do it for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you have done it, understood the concept, it's a matter of algebraic manipulation, nothing beyond that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I tell them that. So I cannot tell more examples, but for every topic that I teach, I try to start with a real life story, relate this theory with that story, how it relates, and once students can identify,
Yes.
then things will be very easy for them.
Yes. So good to hear, sir. Students, this is the first time sir is saying this online, so you better make a note of it. History in the making. So, sir, you're also very famous for your love for cryptocurrency and cryptology, and so when did that start off?
Okay. This started off by really by accident. Um, in Waterloo, I did my PhD in this combinatorics, optimization, all this kind of stuff. Then I came back, joined a job in India. After a few years, again I went back to Waterloo for some time.
Yes.
And then I found in Waterloo, he was my senior, Doug Stinson. He was my senior. Uh, Scott Vanstone, Alfred Menezes, all these people who are in my department, they have turned to be cryptographers. So
Hmm.
I used to do coffee with them. I say, what is this subject? And they told this. And I said, Bimal, I think you should also get into this area. So I picked up a few books. And then I found this is very interesting. And I came back to India. India, there was nowhere there was any course on cryptography.
Yes.
In ISI, I offered the students an optional course. And my objective was to learn this is better. If I teach a course, I learned it better.
Yes.
And the first time there were 3 students who took the optional course. But then it became very popular. Uh, so that's why I became, and I don't know if I told this story.
Yes.
Uh, I saw a Hollywood movie,
Okay.
how Lie was born.
Okay.
So it talks about, first of all, the film, it talks about a utopian, a society where people don't know what is lie,
Yes.
what is dishonest.
Yes.
Okay? So looks like ideal society.
Yes.
So the director takes a lot of time to build this society
Yes.
where people do not lie, people are all are honest, everything is fair and transparent. Okay, then comes the second half, the apparent contradiction
Yes.
in such a society. That lie is an essential part, dishonesty is an essentially part. It doesn't say that I have to dishonest, but these are essential part even to keep the society intact.
Yes.
And I think I remember the first example was that in the show that a doctor knows the patient is in a very critical condition. But if
Yes.
the doctor says that the patient is in very critical condition, if he is very truthful, then the patient becomes psychologically more weak, probably will succumb faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then he says, no, 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 nothing happened to you. You just get up tomorrow morning.
Yes.
That gives a little bit more zeal to the patient to live at least one day more.
Yes.
And these things do help. So this lie is very important even to keep the human civilization going. And
Yes.
they take many examples. So
Yeah.
this is so that's the same thing I do about cryptology.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you had a society where nobody hacks,
Yes.
everybody believes everybody, I don't need this subject.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since the society for its own existence will have to follow many
Yes.
different methods, which we
Yeah.
call dishonesty, hacking, intruding in the other's life, the integral part of life. Life is no good without that. But then how do I protect myself from that? I have to know some mechanism to protect. So I thought this is a very, very challenging thing.
Yeah.
Cryptology came to be
Yes.
a tool for protection. That's why I got into this area. This
Yeah.
movie actually just shook me. Uh,
Okay.
Inevitable. Lie,
Uh,
dishonesty are inevitable.
Derivative.
Humans, people don't. A philosopher, like a religious person, will hate me, but I realize that it's integral part of life. And we have
Very.
to know how to keep up with this, how to fight this.
yes, sir.
Yes. Very
Actually, the
often.
doctor patient example that you gave is actually the placebo versus nocebo effect.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
true. That's true. So
Yeah.
in the movie, there are many other examples like this.
Examples. A lot of
Many
techniques.
examples. So that's how lie was born.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, can you talk a little bit about cryptocurrency, sir?
Yes.
Cryptocurrency. This is. I'm not very fond of it, but this talks about um, again. Since we are not going to be honest, or if my honesty may even be challenged or could face some price, could say some, I could be in trouble. Uh, I'll just give you one example. I think that creates and why something necessary also.
Yeah.
I remember, see, my parents moved from East Pakistan,
Yes.
okay, after the partition, and I think I told you at some point of time that my parents never say 1947 India got independence. They would say when Bengal was partitioned.
Okay.
So independence means nothing to them.
Yes.
Okay, they take it as a very strong sorrow note that they will refer, oh, when Bengal became partitioned, uh,
Yes.
refer. Anyway, so half of the family remained there, half of the family could run away here. And then I was very young, I think much after that, it's probably in early 60s, I was probably 5 years old. Uh, and one of my uh, cousin sister was getting married in East Pakistan, not Bangladesh, East Pakistan. My father wanted to send some gift to his
Yes.
niece. And if you have to, and my father made this joke, I remember it uh, very categorically, that if I have to follow the legal path,
Yes.
means apply to RBI
Yes.
for a foreign currency clearance, then they have to give, and then have to go to State Bank of India
Yes.
with their clearance, pay the Indian rupee, then they will get dollar, they will move to back and forth 5 times.
Yes.
And by the time I send that money, and then she receives at the similar brokers at their end, and he was telling my mother the joke, by the time she will be pregnant. Forget
Comic.
about the I have to celebrate something, they have to tell something else. Okay, so what was the method? So people, they find out methods. So I
Yes.
remember I was a very fan of my father. He took me everywhere. They took me to the Shialda station.
Yes.
There are some bake shops.
Yes.
They sell some grocery, but that's not their main business. Now I understand. So he told that I want to send to my cousin in so and so place this 150 rupees.
Yes.
That time 150 rupees,
Huge amount.
I could possibly get some gold ornament about the 150 rupees.
Okay.
And so is this guy, okay, 150, 10 rupees my commission, you give pay me 160 rupees. So he gave 160 rupees, and on a piece of paper, he just scribbled something. It's totally illegible to me,
Yes.
even my father. They say, you just send it to just send a letter in an envelope, put this one, and ask him to meet that grocery store in so and so market.
Wow.
Okay. So this mail was sent, and then he went to that person, he got the money.
Yes.
This is exactly, and the police could not trace it, this transaction. So cryptocurrency is the very modern, technically viable way of this transfer of money. So cryptocurrency is, I will transact to you,
Yes.
nobody would know who is transacting with whom without, I think it's as of now. So from that notion of money transaction, people came
Yes.
up with this model.
Yes.
That's what cryptocurrency. So there are the two issues there. Uh, Cryptocurrencies, unlike other currencies, related to the economic activity of the country, nation.
Yes.
So you get a currency if you solve some mathematical problem. There are some mathematical problem. If you solve, you get say 12.5 cryptocurrency, or maybe now it is
And
6.25.
yes.
Now you
Yeah.
solve a problem and you get a currency. Okay,
Yes.
now it's currency, everybody accepts it to currency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and now this that doesn't relate to the economic activity. So this is why I don't call it a currency as such. Uh,
Yes.
so currency means, you cannot just throw away. RBI cannot just print money and put it in the market.
Yes.
Think about the economic activity of the country. Now this cryptocurrency doesn't take care of economic activity. So this is what, that's why I don't call it currency. Currency means this one. So this is some way of an artificial way of creating some wealth, no relation to economic activity, but by way of solving problems. And why people do it? They want to make a secure communicate transaction of money so that the government and the others don't understand.
Yes.
So in practice, what happens? I don't think I would like to buy a cryptocurrency, except for the fact that, like you may buy a share, the
Yes.
prices go up and down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I, unless I want to make some money out of this fluctuation in the market of the value of the cryptocurrency, I have no reason to buy cryptocurrency and to send money to you. I am doing all fair and square. Why do you need cryptocurrency?
Yes.
It has become the medium of exchange for the underworld, for
Yes.
the basically for the underworld,
Yes.
or illegal trafficking of money.
Yes.
But this is very secret as of today.
Yes.
Nobody has been actually tracked. Nobody can find out if you two are transacting cryptocurrency between you two. Nobody would be able to find
Yes.
out uh, who is doing what and how much money is being laundered.
Yes.
But the good part of it is that it has is a technology.
Yes.
Now, this could be used for some other purpose, which I think is good.
Yes.
I could use it for land transaction. There's in Bangalore, I remember cinemas Bhogle Dada. He's my senior. I call him Dada. The Bengali Dada is a very respectable thing.
Yes.
Once he bought a piece of land, which the person who sold him didn't have right to sell him.
Yes.
So he made this fraud and he lost a lot of money for that piece of land. I think later on at the court case, I think he recovered some money. So this land business in India is very fuzzy and not very transparent.
Yes.
So now that's also a transaction. I I sell you a piece of land.
Yes.
Now if I put this entire transaction, this land transfer into this kind of technology, it becomes more secure.
Yes.
So people can publicly verify. Now if you claim this is my land, people can publicly verify, yes, this is your land.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so we are thinking of using this entire technology into some other domain where this security is important, confidence is important. But cryptocurrency, I think
Yes.
this corollaries are more important to me than exact cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, sir, can you talk a little bit about the Indo-Crypt movement? Because you were the one who initiated
Yeah,
and started organizing conferences. So, please share your experiences there.
I'll tell you that we were first very honest. And uh, when I started doing this crypto activity, how do we even in 1999, this communication is not so good. Even in email, say not so good like today.
Yes.
Mhm.
How to interact with the international community?
Yes.
So if you have to, I always tell a joke to the people: you cannot swim in your pond next to your house and think of winning a gold medal in the Olympics. Okay, okay. You have to compete with your that level of players, that level of these things to compete at that level. You need a first you have to interact with those people and compete with them. Uh, we have to also interact with the international community. Now by email you can do to some extent, but it's not that extent. Personal meeting is very important.
Important.
And getting money from the government to go abroad, that was very difficult. So I
Yes.
took a different way. That
Okay.
let's have a conference here, and
Yes.
if we are doing good work, then the international community will come here,
Yes.
Correct.
and then we'll have a chance to interact with them.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that's how I started this from India. But to be successful, they should know that in India they have something to. They also something get something also. We have to come to a certain stage where
Yeah.
they feel that they are also not only giving us, taking away something from us.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that's the idea. So if we really, I'll tell you, if we had really enough money
Yes.
to travel abroad that time, probably I wouldn't have started this IndoCrypt.
Yes.
But then people don't respect us so much now the way they respect us. Now they come.
Yes.
Come. Yeah.
They also want to get something from us.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, it is implemented so successfully that uh, so let's talk about the RSA algorithm. With respect to the RSA algorithm,
Yes.
actually, Adi Samir professor actually came to attend this conference.
Oh yes, the first conference. He was the chief guest.
Yes.
Yes, he was the chief guest of
First
one.
conference in IndoCrypt, Adi Shamir came. So
Yes.
Yeah,
I, but first he has to also know us to agree to come here. So when I
Yes.
wrote him a mail and he said, yes, yes, I'd love to come. See, you have to first take yourself to that stage that
yes,
Adisham is just to come here.
come.
Yes.
Yeah,
First one, and now in IndoCrypt, we get the top of the world people.
people.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. Yes, sir.
so anybody you can think of in the world of crypto, they must have
Cryptos.
come to IndoCrypt.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
It's become a
Actually, a very
standard.
proud moment for us, for
Yes.
India as a country.
So, sir, if there was a message that you would like to give the cryptologists of the future who are listening to you right now, so what would it
uh,
be?
No, see, the first thing that you have to learn mathematics and computer science very, very well.
Yes.
So you need both. You have to know mathematics, you know also computing.
Yes.
You need the theory is mathematics, but mathematics is useless unless I can put in algorithm in my say mobile phone.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
for first encryptor.
Yes.
yeah.
So you need to learn both of them,
Yes.
and there are challenges. Currently, I don't know if there are cryptographers here, interested people. They can look into we have started a nationwide competition
Yes.
for what I call lightweight crypto competition. You can go to the just give a search lightweight
Yes.
crypto competition or
Yes.
lightweight challenge, and we're asking. See, when we have these devices, small devices, which has got limited capability of power and memory,
Yes.
then how does the crypto fit into there? Because all these crypto algorithms are basically to meant for the powerful computers,
Yes.
lot of memory, lot of computational power.
Yeah.
So how does it translate if you have the equipments with less power, less, and this is what we call lightweight crypto. Means
Yes.
you have less memory, less battery power. And in fact, most of these sensor networks,
Yes.
okay, they are for the surveillance, what you use. They are
Yes.
this lightweight crypto.
Oh.
So the
Yeah.
Indian government is interested to put indigenous algorithm into that one. So we have actually, the government has floated a nationwide competition of students.
Mhm.
So the top
Yes.
three algorithms will be adopted by the Indian government. They will be given money, cash money prize,
Yes.
and then the top three algorithms will be given to the Indian industry like ITI, Bell, so they can
Yes.
actually make into product.
Yes.
The government will use it. So I would like to think of the students to make some very indigenous product.
Yes.
Well, product will be made by the industry, but some indigenous ideas. One
Yes.
domain is, as I told you, that lightweight crypto.
Yes.
Uh, there are many other such domains, but
Yes.
come with some Indian ideas which can be converted to a product.
Yes.
We still lack from India in that one. We are good in writing papers, okay, but the ideas should be translated to actually a product.
Yes.
So this is what I will advise them. This is one topic I do lightweight crypto, but I can talk about many different things which would have more relevance
Yes.
for tomorrow.
So, a very quick note to all the users. We are talking about a lot of cryptology here. So, sir is one of the most prominent cryptologists in this country and in and around the world. And he has also started an MTech in cryptology and network security course at ISI. There is a center on cryptology and security at ISI, RC Bose Center for Cryptology and Security, which is what sir heads. So, please go through and yeah, so let's go on.
Thank you for the plug, Praveen. So, so, how do you see the future of cryptology going? So, or
Well, see, as long as we become more and more dishonest, how we live. The more honest the society becomes, the less need of this one. So I just let that like that.
Okay.
Okay. So and the entropy is
Yes.
increasing, so we become more and more dishonest.
Yes.
So we have to depend on technology.
Yeah.
Good. So to all the students who are pursuing data science, they
Mhm.
want to know from you what should they focus on and what should they not focus on in this day when there is an abundance of tutorials and learning material and courses. So they really want to know what should they focus on, what should they not focus on.
No, it depends on interest. Some people are, when you talk of again same thing, statistics.
Yes.
Data science is actually the basic fundamentally statistics.
Yes.
Now,
Statistics.
whether you're trying to understand the business scenario,
Yeah.
whether you want to, you know, the management has certain beliefs,
Yes.
whether you want to validate or reject their beliefs.
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk about just one simple example. You see, this RBI sometimes, change the repo rate. If
Yes.
the economy is in some kind of trouble, repo rate,
Yes.
because they believe that lowering the repo rate or increasing the repo rate is going to have a good or effect on the economy.
Yes.
But that's a belief. Now the RBI, they have examined the market and the repo rates, and they have found a model
Yes.
that if you do this way, the economy is probably improve.
Yes.
So, so this belief. So it depends on what area, and the other one is predictive. Predictive ones get more importance,
Yes.
but I think it's equally important to understand the scenario, how
Yes.
things happen. Um, So depends on what you're doing, but
Yes.
you have to learn fundamental statistics very well, and you have to
Yes.
learn computing very well.
Yes.
So this, ultimately, the statistics idea would not be implemented unless you know this computing
Yeah,
very well.
Yes. Exactly.
So, and I think you have some ideas. You want to do predictive,
Yes.
yeah,
or you want to understand the scenario.
Yes.
So there are
yeah,
two ways of doing things.
yeah,
And predictive is more challenging, but you tend to do more mistake also.
Yes.
When understanding the scenario is very important. So you have to think of, you try to understand the scenario, or you want to predict for the future.
Yes.
And accordingly, there are different tools. So once you focus your interest, accordingly you can pick up your tutorials or tools or whatever in the market.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
So
another.
actually,
Sorry, Praveen.
yeah, I was talking about computational power. So let me just add on to that point. So the biggest advantage industries currently are enjoying is the computational power, and they're building a lot of products and a lot of artificial intelligence products actually. So how can students and academic institutions with great mathematics, statistics, and computer science departments and working on these multidisciplinary subjects and research problems help enhance in industry standards?
No, so I think uh, well there are coursework. I think with the coursework they have to probably take up some real life stuff.
Yes.
I'll tell you something like um, if the students can play this game in the class, you take the say, 60 students, 60 prints, okay,
Yes.
fingerprints, palm impression, other
Yes.
image to you.
Mm,
Okay, now you have all those images with you, and then some student come and give another fingerprint. Now try
Yes.
to see if you can really find out whose fingerprint it actually is from
yeah,
this 60. This is still a very difficult problem.
yes,
Now you have to use
Yes.
many techniques for matching this. Okay,
yeah,
Yes.
so these are mostly machine learning techniques used there.
yeah.
So
Yes.
you learn the techniques, try something like on your own in the class.
Yes.
Fingerprint.
So involved in a lot of projects.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, yeah. I
the
think lot of projects.
lot of
Lot of
projects.
So,
lot of projects.
so students listening to this, you should be ready to get your hands dirty with lots of projects, as many as
Yeah, yeah,
possible.
yeah. Otherwise, you don't learn anything.
Yes.
Yes,
So, because
And
there is. Yes.
game in the class.
Yes.
So maybe a match can do this in the class. You have this. You have learned all these matching algorithms in machine learning course,
Yes.
and see how to adopt this,
adopt
whether
it.
they really work or not. Which algorithm works for the fingerprints?
Yeah,
Yes.
That could be a challenge.
So,
yes,
so audience member Rishabh Sarkar sent out a question saying, "Is there any course or content that is going to be good for me?" So, sir has already answered. The best content is you make your own content by doing projects. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
so I guess that's answered, Rishabh. So next question that we have is about today's job market when it comes to data science. We see that everybody wants to do data science because tremendous demand for the jobs these days. And so where do you see the job market for data science going and how would it evolve over the years?
Well, see, this job market is a very very volatile thing.
Yes.
At this point of time, okay, I'll tell you something like when I was studying in college. Okay, my friends, I say my friends studying in IIT Kharagpur. That time, electronics was the most sought after stuff because we were into product design of the electronics. Even this TV was being manufactured in India.
Yes.
But now, if you do electronics, you have no job in India.
Yes.
You ultimately become an IT professional.
Yes.
mm,
Okay, so we don't have a much scope of doing electronics, actually product development, manufacturing in India anymore.
Yes.
So which was so prominent in our time. It's not time invariant, so it's very time invariant.
Yes.
At this point, if I look into the future for another at least 5 years, I see the way the business is going, making decisions, and more than making decisions, future projection is going to be very important to understand the future. And for that, your data science or analytics is going to play a big role.
Yes.
And as of today, I don't know really many people who have done a dress and sports and become jobless.
Yes.
But they have learned the stuff. If you don't learn the stuff, you don't get a job. But if you have
Yes.
learned data science well enough, I
Correct.
think there is a job for every competent person.
Yes.
And this, as I understand the industry, people in industry, that they think this will continue for at least 5 years, if not longer.
At least 5 years.
But technology changes, methodology changes. 5 years from today, I don't know what is going to happen. At this point, I see there is a good potential of this data science.
Data science.
Yes. So, sir, but let's think of this hypothetically that we have a time machine and you can go back in time.
Mm.
What would you aspire to be if you were young again and like a small child again? What would
I would
you?
have
We
I would
could.
have become a professional football player.
Okay.
So it would
So
have
then,
been a proud moment to have you as one of those football players in the Indian football teams.
Yeah. I would have glad for that.
Yes. So Praveen, you had a question. Sorry, I interrupted you.
uh, no, I think we have come to the end. It already exceeded 14 minutes.
So
Uh, shall we wrap up, Aman?
y-
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I have one question you have left.
Yes.
Your question number 14.
Yes.
Please.
What,
Yes, sir.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, sorry, sir. So
Yeah,
you have a very close relationship with our former president, late Pranab Mukherjee. So can you talk a little bit about that?
I just I deliberately wanted to take this point because I want to tell something to everybody about Pranab Mukherjee.
Yes.
Uh, so this is a lesson I got from him. Two things he told me once. The first thing is that I'll tell you the my interaction. When I was as a director, he was the chairman of the institute. Also, he was the
Yes.
finance minister of the Indian government.
Yes.
So I need to talk to him. He's a very important person, so it's not that I have to report to him, but I don't get to see him that often.
Yes.
So once I was in some kind of dilemma trouble, so I called him from Calcutta that we should call them Dada. So Dada, I need to talk to you for some time. Give me some time. Then I can come down to Delhi and I need some 15, 20 minutes. Then he said, okay, take the tomorrow morning flight and come to North Goa directly. I told Dada, it's not that important, you are a busy person. So you can give me time in next 7, 10 days, I'll come down. And then he said, Bimal, a busy person can always find time. And then he put his phone down.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the first lesson I got from him.
Yes.
A busy person can always find time. So you don't go excuse that I'm very busy for not doing something. So
Okay.
in spite of all my busy schedule, if there is a request, I try to accommodate that. And that's my first advice to everyone.
Yes.
And the second thing he taught me, also it helped me in running an institute also. He said, remember, Vimal, democracy is not the rule of majority.
Yes.
This is a very deep statement, political statement. Democracy is not the rule of majority. When you run anything, you have to listen to everybody.
Yes.
Just you think out of the 10, 6 are on your side and you just bulldoze your decision by a vote. That is not democracy.
Yes.
Yes.
So democracy is to accommodate everyone as far as feasible. It's
Yeah.
not rule of majority. So this is what when I also run the institute as a director, when I run the Crypto Society also, when I run everywhere any organization thing, I just remember that democracy is not rule of majority.
Majority.
So I'm not very happy if I get more than half the people with me.
Yes.
We have to try to satisfy the need of everybody to the extent possible.
Yeah.
So this is what I think I shared this experience with him. There are many other interactions with him, but these two I think are very profound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, People
Truly.
should try to adopt this in their life.
Yes.
Never should say, I have no time, I'm very busy. So
Yes. Yes, sir.
never make a group and you think if a majority you can do everything.
Yes.
Mm.
Majority is not democracy.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
thank you for
Thank
those wise words from Pranab Mukherjee. Wise
Yes,
learnings,
yes.
if I must say. So, sir, we've heard from our sources, and since we would like to end at a very happy note, And we've heard from our sources that you really enjoy telling a particular statistical joke. Uh, so could you please tell us that joke?
No, I have many jokes. Maybe I don't know. So I'll tell you first. Um, First, one joke that I no, but this is a very standard joke, by Winston Churchill. But if you don't like it,
Yes.
lie, damn lie, statistics. That's not a joke. Scientific insult, rather. But the joke I tell about statistics in every science. This is also, I think, I learned from CRO.
Yes.
Every science, they handle the problem of their subject only.
Yes.
When you when somebody physicist work, they try to solve a physics problem only. So only in statistics, you try to solve other problems, others problems.
Okay.
So on
So,
that,
so that is like Draupadi. You have got many husbands. It is like Draupadi. I don't know if you have, many of you must have read, and most of you read Mahabharata.
yes,
So Draupadi has many husbands. So statistics takes care of many other subjects.
yes.
So
Yes, sir.
Draupadi of academics subjects.
What an analogy to come to the end of this show. We are at the end with a very happy note. Thanks to that joke, sir. Thank you very much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you here. And we have with us our godmother, if I must put it across as that way, Professor Jayati Bhadra from Department of Big Data Analytics, who would like to say a few words to thank you
Sure,
for giving us your time and your,
my pleasure.
thank you, sir. So I guess ma'am should be joining us any moment. PK has the control for that. So eh, yes, ma'am is here.
Professor Jyoti Badra from Department of Big Data
Ma'am,
Analytics, good
could you put your YouTube on mute, please?
for giving us your time and close the YouTube live streaming, ma'am. I guess ma'am
Can you
should be
see?
joining us any moment. PK has the control for that. So,
PK, can you see me?
Ma'am, can you switch off your YouTube live stream, please?
yeah, yes, ma'am is here. Professor Jyoti Badra from Department of Big Data Analytics. Could you put your YouTube on mute?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. No, now it is good
Yeah,
evening.
right.
So,
Right.
all the good evening. So it is you. I think you are sitting in that room where we got the training, right? In at ISI Kolkata.
Yeah, same room, same room. Yes, yes, yes.
Same room it is. So okay. So it was really a great experience. Actually, we all enjoyed those days at ISI Kolkata. Now let me conclude this session. It was really nice to have you, sir. And Vimala, I thank you for agreeing to be the speaker of this inaugural podcast series organized by Data Analytics Alumni Association. You have been the guiding force for this data analytics course, which is your brainchild, which has established itself as a leading course in a short time. Vimanda, I have no doubt with your blessing, the Alumni Association will also be able to do a stellar job in enhancing the course's program. Today's this small step by the Alumni Association would be a giant leap for Big Data Analytics Department. Thank you for sharing your ideas, perspectives, valuable inputs. Some of them I have noted down, and spending your special time with us. It will be a disservice if I do not acknowledge the contribution of those who have worked behind the scenes to organize and guide today's session. First of all, I thank our beloved teacher, your brother, Dada, Dr. Srinivas Bogle, for his constant support, guidance, and encouragement. I especially thank Amandeep Khanna, and Praveen Kumar for their effort to put this together. I thank Manu for from first year MSc Big Data Analytics for creating the poster. I'm proud of you all. I thank each and every alumni association member for this initiative. You all made us proud. My sincere gratitude to our regular father, Dr. Weber Silva SJ, and our principal, Father Dr. Peter Lobo SJ, for their encouragement and continuous support. Last, not the least, I thank all the participants for attending this podcast. I'm sure you all enjoy and will add value to you. Thank you. God bless us.
Thank you.
Yes, Vinanda.
Okay.
Really nice.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
time we cannot expect you to be in the campus. We will
Yeah. As soon as the travel becomes normal, I will.
in the
And I told you, I can always find time. Something that I can never say I don't have time. I can
Yes.
always.
Yes. I always, whenever I call, I get you. So I get your support also. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you so
Bye
much,
bye.
sir. Bye bye,
Thank
sir.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So, PK, quite eventful podcast.
Yeah, we expect that audio technical error to happen, but I think we fixed it
I
Yeah.
will talk to you.
well.
So, guys, thanks a lot for joining us for our very first podcast. Sorry that it was the first episode, so we are still learning production. We are data science students who don't know anything about video and audio production. But nevertheless, with the support of our great teachers like Dr. Bogle sir and Jayati ma'am, soon to be Dr. Jayati ma'am, and all of and PK.
Our mother of the department, Aman.
Yeah, so we'd like to end today's stream and say thanks a lot for tuning in. Until next time, this is Aman Khanna signing out. PK,
This is Pradeep Kumar signing out.
and we also have, ma'am, you're supposed to
And
say
head of the department, Jayati Badra. I am also signing out. Bye.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.